And welcome to Boomer and Beyond Wellness. I'm Angela Fischetti. So today we're going to continue with our time-saving series, our workouts that are all about standing though. We're doing the standing upper body workouts in a time-saving fashion, and today's emphasis are on the deltoid muscles. My female students out there, this is a very weak area for us. This is a big problem. It's a big cause of rotator cuff muscle issues as well. So we need to be strong so we can do activities of daily living, which would consist of reaching up high. That's like a shoulder flexion where we have to put away our groceries, maybe some cans of beans and what have you. Then we also want to be able to pull them back down so something doesn't fall on us. The other movements would be shoulder abduction, going away from the midline, reaching out to the side, and then maybe pulling something back in from the side. That would be shoulder adduction, going back toward the midline. And then also when we're involved in reaching back for something, this would also be from the shoulder joint. So we're talking about the glenohumeral joint. Now, the accessories we'll be using today, pretty apparent. We're going to be using, I like to work out on sticky yoga mats because, yeah, they stick. So we have a flat surface, please, with no throw rug underneath. We'll also be using exercise tubing. Today, because of the particular exercises I chose, we're going to be using the tubing with adjustable handles. Now, they are the clip-on handles. So let me just say this to you. This is my experience of doing this for 35 years working with clients, that for those who are 5'6" and above, I'm going to suggest for certain exercises, they use the clip-on handles. For other exercises, and for those who are 5'5" and under, you can purchase the tubing that comes with the attached handles already. So I'm going to be using two of those today for two different types of resistances. And then also I'll be working with a TheraBand, also known as a Dynaband. Now, let me just show you something here. I'd like you to do this every time you work with a band or an exercise loop as well. You want to hold it up to the light. I'm looking for little tiny pinholes. And if I don't see any, we're pretty good to go. But if you see one and it's real near the end of the band, then you can cut it. But otherwise, toss that thing because you don't want it snapping and hitting you in the face. The other tips for this would be to not store them knotted up. Make sure they're not with sweat or water on them because you'll never get them back to a working situation. These things can last a super long time. Put them in a Ziploc bag, maybe with some non-GMO cornstarch, and just a little bit. You're not baking a cake, okay? Just a little bit, so you can shake it up, and it's going to keep it nice and supple for you. Okay, so for some medical disclaimers, I'm going to start with the equipment. So typically, this type of equipment, tubing, bands, loops, monster cords, they're made out of latex. So if you have a latex allergy, folks, make sure you're looking for non-latex or latex-free. As far as the exercises go, well, for the deltoid muscles, we want to consider golfers and tennis elbow. That's medial and lateral epicondylitis. Also, those who are medicated or not for hypertension, you may have been told not to reach up overhead and particularly weighted. So I want you to think about that. If you have pinched nerve at the neck, and also maybe those rotator cuff muscle issues we were talking about, I invite you all to not do the workout, but to preview the video first. Look for what you can do. When we have long time with dealing with chronic and acute issues, we're pretty good at what we cannot do, right? It's what we can do that I want you to open up your eyes to. Look for it, because I promise you it's going to be here. I'm going to offer you those modifications, so pay attention to what I have to say, but preview that video first. And if you're still unsure after watching the video, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to help you make an informed decision and invite them to preview the video as well. So what we'll be doing today is to basically take care of those who are brand new to exercise, brand new to strength training, or have some of these pre-existing issues. We're going to run through all 3 exercises without additional resistance, nothing. And this is also kind of a nice warm-up as well. Now, let me remind you all that there is a warm-up and cool-down video on the platform, or I should say really on the channel, and take a peek at it, participate, because for those who are 55 and above, it is recommended to do 10 minutes of a warm-up prior to any exercise program, but I'm going to tell you, especially prior to strength training, it's really, really important. Now, we're going to be doing stretches in between our sets today. A set is a group of repetitions. We'll be working with 8 to 15 repetitions. You could do 1 set. If you're brand new, that's all right. You could do 1 set. But for those who are more seasoned, I invite you to do 2, 3, 4 sets. And it's typically we have a 20 to 25 second rest in between the sets. That's where we're going to be stretching. But those of you who are really into bodybuilding, it's different than weightlifting. Bodybuilding and weightlifting are 2 different things. So if you're really into bodybuilding and you've come here because you are 65 and whatever and still want to stay strong, and that's great. I'm with you. I'm 65. I get it. So what you want to do is take 45-second to 1 minute rest between your sets. And let's see what else I could tell you. Yeah, check the YouTube community page because I have a rating of perceived exertion chart on that tab. And I like for folks to work out an RPE of 3 to 6. Look for it. It's there. Learn what that is. It's going to help you. It's especially helpful for people who might have a pacemaker or on beta blockers, because this kind of sort of sets your exercise heart rate zone, right? It sets your I should say just your heart rate. So take a peek at that. It's really helpful to help you when you train. And what else? I'm checking my little cheat sheet here for you. Yes, so the medical disclaimers will apply to this first exercise we'll be doing. It's called a shoulder press, aka military press. Now, if you have those rotator cuff muscle issues, pinched nerve, and if you're medicated or not for hypertension, you've been told not to lift overhead, what you're going to do before I demonstrate the official exercise are front delt raises, just like this. You're not going to take that up. That's exactly what we're avoiding. You take it out in front. For the rest of us, I'm going to come down onto my knee because I want to demonstrate this for the moment so you can see with my wide grip. I'm going to go up and down. Exhale, up and down. So time for you to join with me. Stay standing. You don't have to come down here. I just want you to see what's happening with the lift of the arms. And I exhale on the effort as I rise up. Inhale down. Exhale. Notice I'm actually working through the elbow, straightening it. Exhale, effort, preferably in and out through the nose. Sometimes you can't, and that's understandable. Notice how nice and slow and controlled. So easy, without resistance, to whip through an exercise. Don't let that happen. We're going to go for 3 more. Take your time. Doing the whole routine without any weights, folks, is a great warm-up. Good. Now, my back toes are tucked under, hands on the thigh, and push up to stand. All right, so now we want to take what I'm going to call a shoulder girdle stretch. So knees are soft, standing with feet hips width, interlock fingers. You may have been told at one point in your life that with hypertension, you shouldn't squeeze the fingers, then don't, and just place one hand on the other. And I'm going to squat low enough so that you can see that the palms are facing the ceiling. It's a nice long neck. I'm not doing this, folks. This is not good for rotator cuff, not good for pinch nerve. It's a nice relaxed shoulder girdle. You can check in here with your neck and just slowly turn the head from side to side. Be mindful, vertigo may not welcome this. So you just see how you feel. And are you breathing? I'm going to go one more to each side. It's a nice way to loosen it up. Back to center, slowly lower it down, shoulder roll. Now the next exercise is going to be unilateral, which means one arm, and that's delt abduction, adduction. So I'm going to demonstrate with both arms. Let's work them together here for the demonstration. Arms out here. Now notice, I am not here. What's the big difference, Angela? A huge difference, because if I have the hands here and I take the arms up, I have now recruited the rotator cuff that I'm trying to avoid. All right, supraspinatus is typically the one that gets injured, but if you keep your arms 10 to 15 degrees away from the hips or side thighs, you bypassed it. And now you're on the middle head of the deltoid muscle of the shoulder. Nice and slow. Exhale. Take that pelvic tuck. Belly button is pulled in. Knees are soft. Reaching out. Elbows are not locked, folks. Look to the side of what I'm doing here. And not back here, right? I'm going to go for 2 more now. But we will be doing it one arm at a time when we have the tubing. And slowly lower. Arm across. Bend to opposite elbow. Pull. But then depress that left shoulder back and down. So now I have a resistance going on. I'm pulling and pushing. So what am I stretching here? Nice right here on that cuff, that shoulder cuff. So yes, I'm getting deltoid, I'm getting rotator cuff, and I'm getting the long head of the tricep muscle. Exercise is never reductionist. It's never one muscle only doing the work. And then I take it across. I feel that. And take it down, take a couple of shoulder rolls. So now the last exercise is going to be what I'm calling an upright rear delt fly, because this way people with the back spine issues can participate as well. So hold the arms out here. Now, if you're in a gym, there is a machine called a pec fly, but oftentimes you can make it a rear delt fly as well. So it looks like this. Your emphasis is pushing back. The emphasis is pushing back. Now, this is what I see a lot of with people working out. They go like this. Forward head projection. They're thinking they're bringing their arms further back. No, you're not. And actually, you're putting 12 pounds of pressure on every inch of forward head flexion on that cervical spine. What we're doing is scapular retraction. Come closer here. See the shoulder blades. What I'm not doing is this, punching to pinch them. No, I'm working it from the shoulder girdle, from the arm. Exhale from that glenohumeral joint. Glenohumeral joint. Yes, I know I have tan lines, but I'm guilty. I live in Miami Beach and I do a fitness walk on the beach wearing a 12.5-pound weighted vest. I'm going for one more. And release. Shoulder roll it. Now what I want to do is some spine releasing, okay? So I'm going to come into a spine extension and a spine flexion, better known in yoga as standing cat-cow. So knees soft, feet hips width, hands lightly on the thighs. Now let's see if I turn this way. Yeah. So if I come here, I'm starting to create a back bend, right? but we don't want to drop the head all the way back if you've had a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, or a stroke. But most back spine typically like this movement. And then on the exhale, for those with back spine issues, you're going to come to neutral, while the rest of us round down into spinal flexion. And it's like doing a standing abdominal crunch. Inhale, spine extension. Exhale, spine flexion. Belly button drawn in, particularly right here. Let's hold for the moment. Visualize the belly button in, coming out the small of the back. Oh, it's so good. Relax the arms. And with the head dangling down, take your time slowly rolling up. Of course, you can keep your head up for vertigo, GERD, and hypertension, medicated or not. Shoulder roll. All right, you're ready to get to the resistance work. Let's do it. Let's pull out the tubing. I'm checking to make sure I know what I'm saying to you. Yeah, here we go. Now we're going to do that military press, a shoulder press. Those of you that we gave the other exercise to, I need you to do that, the front delt raise instead. Everybody's taken care of. Okay, and down, lift this up. Go a little closer because this one is a little challenging for me. And exhale up and down. Military press. So we're doing 2 of each exercise, 2 sets with, I should say, the accessories. And stretching in between. Oh, one more. And slowly down. Watch it when you lower all the way because it can snap away from you, the tubing. Let's do that shoulder girdle rotation again. Interlock. Knees soft, pelvic tuck. Here we go. Remember the contraindications when I point them out to you, folks. And slowly take it down. Let's do it again. You're going to stand on the tubing underneath the arches of the shoes. I'd like folks to try to work out in sneakers or even aqua shoes is okay as well. Take it up. There goes T. Or terrific. And that T was lying down on an anthill in the sun. Great cat. Woo. 2 more. 1 more. Whoa. And slowly down. Let's take that shoulder girdle rotation again. When you hold the stretches on your own, you're holding for 20 to 25 seconds. He's getting curious. And slowly down. Great. Now let's do our, okay, this is where I have to change the handle here. I'm going to take one handle off of the red tube and put that one handle on the, what I call the jade tube, because we're going to do that unilateral delt abduction adduction. So it looks like this. Remember, the wider you stand, the more resistance. So you get to play with this thing, right? I don't know, when I get to it, it's like, all right, I'll feel and see what it feels like. Down here, exhale. It's about right. Don't turn and twist the torso. Try not to lock out the elbow, but keep a soft one. Those of you without resistance, you can do one arm at a time, but I would say go for both at the same time. Do it bilaterally. Whoa, one more. Man, this kicks in. Jeez. Okay, the one thing that you want to pay attention to is if the wrist is bending. So we don't want the wrist to do this stuff. See that? We don't want that. That means it's too much resistance. I think, there we go. And you might find one arm is stronger than the other. That's the beauty of working unilaterally. Hey folks, this wrist was broken last year. So I had to work unilaterally. But I worked it. Nothing was held in the hand, but man, I worked that arm. I was once diagnosed with osteoporosis, downgraded to osteopenia. Not even the broken wrist brought me back to osteoporosis, because you can, if you don't keep up your strength training, you will see osteoporosis again. And I was determined not to reverse that status from osteopenia back to osteoporosis. Determined. I did not. Phew, last one. Phew. Hello. All right, now for the stretch here. It's going to look like this. Well, I'm going to put this up here because that's going to become a toy for T. Okay, so because he's lying down there, you can't see him. So we're going to pull it across, push it back and down. Don't twist, though. Don't twist. It's perfect for this exercise. Other side. Now, for some of you, you may not be able to reach the arm over. Use your hand and pull. Why not? Always a way to figure it out, folks. Always a way. If you're sitting in a wheelchair, you can do this upper body workout. Please, please give it a try. It's all been designed to try to make it inclusive of everybody. Big shoulder rolls. Second set of that, because that was just so much fun for me. Okay, you should just see what's going on with T. The way he's looking at this too, I won't be surprised if he comes jumping out at it. Okay, here we go. Notice that you come to a full stop. You pause at the peak of a contraction. Right? A lot of people hit it and go. Don't do that. Don't run away from it. Give it a moment. Delay. Hold. Stop. Pause. Whatever the word you want to use. Make sure that wrist is straight. Typically, this is an okay exercise for rotator cuff and pinch nerve, but you know, you'll find out your information after you watch it and speak with your medical healthcare practitioner. Last one for sure on this side. Yes, you're going to notice I don't count very much. I go to feel, but I do go within the protocols, the recommendations, 8 to 15 reps. Now, the American College of Sports Medicine, ACSM, pardon me, American College of Sports Medicine, talks about 10 to 12 repetitions. But I'm just going to tell you, after 35 years of doing this, 8 to 15 is a good number of repetitions, but the aesthetics kick in at the number 10. That's when you start making the difference on what you look like and the shaping of your muscle and your tone, etc. But when something's really heavy, 8's going to work. Whew, one more, I'm like looking away, like go away exercise. Okay, let's do this stretch again. Laughing at T. So pull across, press it back and down. I've been rescuing cats for 45 years, or I really should say they've been rescuing me. I absolutely adore them. All animals. And then the other, oh man. It's nice to have your sense of, yeah, I worked, it really worked. There he goes. Hello, TT. Thank you. Running away. And release, take some shoulder rolls. The last exercise is going to be that upright rear delt fly, posterior deltoid. I gave you the spiel on the band, but it's not a spiel, it's the truth, okay? Now, the closer together that you bring your hands on the band, the more resistance. We'll hold it out in front. Do not bend the wrist. This is why I wear gloves, folks, for weightlifting and working with the bands and tubing. So it's like I'm bringing the chest toward the band rather than thinking band to chest, because oftentimes people do this. They start rounding. So I'm going to turn my back to you. Exhale. Scapular retraction. Now I'm going to grab a little bit more because I feel like I can use a little more resistance. There we go. Long neck, pelvic tuck, knees bent. Oh man, whoa, all of a sudden it's like, hello. Last one. This kicks in hard and fast on me. And slow it down. Wow. So for the stretch that I want to do here is that standing cat-cow, the spine flexion and extension. You remember the contraindications, right? There's the spine extension. I just got a back adjustment, folks. And then, remember back spine, you're going to stand up into neutral. Hypertension, GERD, and vertigo. You're going to stand up into neutral. But you're going to join us on that extension part. Just not dropping the head all the way back for TIA and stroke. You don't want to drop it all the way back. And we're going to hold here. Work that abdominal muscle, pull it in toward the small of the back, the belly button. That's the transverse abdominis, folks, the deepest of our core abdominal muscles. It's like an internal girdle, an internal corset. With the head dangling, slowly roll up. Shoulder rolls, last set, okay? You do these stretches in between, you know, you don't have to do a cool down. And you're stretching after each exercise. I'll let you cool down. But if you feel like you need more of a cool down, go to that video. It's pinned toward the top of the workout videos. Oh my goodness. Whew. Oh, last one. I don't even know if I can do it. And take it down. Phew. Let's do that spine flexion and extension again. Now I'm going to turn toward you. Yeah. Hold here. Take your time. Slowly roll up. Relax the shoulders. Relax the head. Inhale the head up last. Exhale, shoulder rolls. Make sure you're drinking some water, folks, throughout the course of the workout. If you need more cool down, like I said, go to the video. In the meantime, stay hydrated, eat your greens, eat your beans, and until next time, be well. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and don't forget, hit that notification button and subscribe. Put a thumbs up and maybe share. Take care. Thanks again.